folks. Look, I'm Tanya Smith, and this is Stream Like a Boss TV. I am super excited. As always, it's Thursday, and you know, if you've been here any amount of time with us over the past several years, y'all, that when we go live on Thursdays, we are here for you. And we're here to talk about how you, as a coach or other service provider, might be able to leverage live stream marketing and other forms of visual and audio media to be able to stand out online, to serve more people, and to sell more of your services. So I am thrilled and excited. I see OGs in the house. I'm thrilled and excited to welcome you to the show. And tonight I get a chance to introduce to you, well, reintroduce to some of you my very dear friend, WendyY Bailey. You're going to see her in just a second. Let me acknowledge a couple of folks. If you are brand new to the show and you've never been here before, I want you to type in hashtag newbie. And if you have been here, if you're family and we've seen you quite often, you've been here over time, whether it was just once or twice, you're family now, and I want you to put in hashtag OG. Scott knew what to do. Thank you so much for coming and for hanging out. Look, WendyY and I are going to talk about a topic that is really, I think it's important right now. It's about the idea of you not just creating content, but creating it in such a way that you are profitable, like really being intentional and on purpose about why you're doing this thing in the first place, whether it's video or audio podcasting or some other form of visual or audio media. We want to make sure that you're doing it with intent and with purpose so that you can have a sustainable, profit-driven business. So we're going to be talking about that with one of the smartest women I know, again, WendyY Bailey. You're going to see her on the other side of this. Radiance by Bratilia, Gary Jones. It's wonderful to see you all here. On the other side of this short video, we'll see our special guest. Now, my question for today is, are you right now making money with your content? Give me your answer in the comments and we'll be right back, okay? With WendyY Bailey. I'll see you in just a second on the other side of this video. Don't forget to let us know where you're from and if you're a hashtag OG or a hashtag newbie. Alrighty, ma'am. I want to welcome
Hi.
you. Hi, and welcome. Wait, I got to give you some applause because I got to make you feel welcome, WendyY. Welcome
Thank
back,
you so
actually.
much. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Now, you
I
know,
love applause.
I know you do, and you deserve all the applause, ma'am. All the applause. Look, for those who don't know you, I definitely want you to have a chance to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about what you do. I also want to reintroduce you because it's been some time. I don't know, has it been a few years
It's been a
since?
few years.
Okay,
Yeah, it's been a
okay.
few years, but it's it's never a situation where we stay away from each other too long. So
It's true. It's true. We always pick up like we just finished talking
yesterday, yeah, a few minutes ago,
a
for
few
sure.
minutes
For
ago.
sure.
A few minutes
Yeah.
ago. Okay, so tell us about you, WendyY. I want you to be able to brag a little bit on yourself. And then if you feel up to it, one thing that's not in your bio, what would you like the people to know?
Wow. I'll kind of save that for last, but let me just say that in another week and a half, Tanya, I will have been in this business full time as a coach for 22 years. 22 years. I tell people, and it's not because I've been successful the whole time. I want to brag and say that I have been successful quite a bit of the time, right?
Yeah.
But it's because I refuse to give up. Like, this is something I feel like I was called to do,
Yeah.
business coaching, helping other coaches. And I'm just not going anywhere anytime soon because I love the work that I do and I love the people I get to serve as part of what I do. And just in terms of who I serve, I mentioned it. I work with other coaches. So,
Mm-hmm.
mostly business, career, some executive coaches, some life coaches. And it's all about helping them to get profitability going in their business. And I have a very simple formula: uh, productivity plus profitability equals sustainability. That's how you
Mm-hmm.
stay in business as a coach. So if you're wondering why you're not making enough money, then look at your productivity. If you're looking at your productivity and you're doing a lot of things, maybe you need to check the things that you're doing so that they lead to profitability, and then you can ensure that your business is sustainable over time. Very simple formula. You like that one, huh?
I
Very
like that
simple
one.
formula. And something that's not in my bio that you and I were talking about before we got started is I have a 34-year-old son. 34. I don't know where he came from. I tell
I
him
know.
all the time, I don't know who your mama is, but I'm too young to have a 34-year-old son. He's like, yeah, okay, mom, I get it. I get it. He knows where he came from, and I do too. But I'm just not claiming whatever number that is. My
I
body
know.
tells me sometimes that I'm 61. Proud to say that, but I'm a vibrant 61-year-old because I refuse to let the age get the best of me. So I work on my body stuff to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yes. And you know what? You're wearing that 61 beautifully, ma'am. So
Thank you, darling. I
kudos to you.
appreciate that.
I want to say hello to some folks that are in the comments. So I'm going to pull some comments up so that we can acknowledge folks that are in here. First of all, Scott, it's good to see you. What's up, OG? I see I did introduce, or not introduce, but acknowledge Radiance by Raytilia Salon. Girl, you're definitely OG in the house. Love it. Gary Jones Jr. in the house. OG. Love to see everybody here. Thank you so much. So much, so much. Stacy Moore in the house. OG as well. So we got some folks that are definitely familiar with the show. I got my friend, my brother, Dan, in the house. This is just last Dan. He's talking about our show from last week. Yeah, she's gonna drop some knowledge. You're right. She's gonna drop some knowledge for real, for real. And we're not even charging you for it tonight.
Regina Baker Chenier.
I
Hi.
love her.
Yes,
Regina.
me too.
I love it. I love it. Stacy says, now Stacy is a fan. I don't know if you know that Stacy's a big old fan, but she's a big old fan of WendyY Bailey. She
Really?
is.
Thank you so much for that, Stacy. I'm glad to be here with you. She's
And
an OG
Dan,
of the show too, so I get it.
she is an OG. Tanya's drinking. I am not. I would love to say that I am, Dan, but sadly, no. Sadly,
He's
no.
just trying to butter you up somehow for something. That's what that is.
He always is. Look, I need Dan. I need a Dan everywhere I go to just like support
Yeah,
and
yeah.
encourage.
But candidly, you are like my little sister, so I get it. I get it.
You know what,
Thank you
Wendy?
for
Why?
that.
We
What?
have had some serious, speaking of sisters, we have had some really serious conversations about just life, but also being coaches, being in the industry, because we both have been here. We've been doing this thing for a long time. Like you mentioned, 22 years is coming up fast for you.
Mhm.
And
It
so,
is, and sometimes it feels like 22 years, but sometimes it feels like just yesterday. You know,
yeah,
when I chart the growth, that's when I know it's been 22 years because I'm not where I was in year 1 through 5,
yeah,
or year 6 through 10. So
yeah.
I get it.
But I
I
want
get
to
it.
know from you, when we think about coaching and when we think about people who are doing service provider type of businesses right now, I hear a lot of people talking about how they're just not making money. They're out here, they're churning, they're sending, posts, they're sending emails, they're sharing social media content, they're doing all of the things, but they're just not profitable. And so I love that you shared your formula just a few minutes ago. Can you tell me, for you, what inspired you to start using video and other forms of media in your marketing and branding? Like, what was that inspired you to do that?
Well, there were a couple of things that inspired me. I want to say it was about 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. Yeah, 8 years ago. It was 2016. I had been out of the marketplace due to illness and I came back and I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. So I need to figure out how to do it in a way that it works for me. And Facebook at the time was telling you, they were saying video is what we're going to be moving toward. You're going to see 80% of the content on our platform is going to be video. And so I said, well, I've got to start doing something. And that's when I launched. I had launched it before, but that's when I really started working on my YouTube channel. Fast forward a couple of years later, when COVID hit, right? We didn't know how we were going to reach people. And I wanted to do something different. And so when I thought of something different, I thought of podcasting. And I kept saying with great resistance, everybody has a podcast. I don't want to do a podcast because everybody has the podcast. And then I came across someone who was doing video podcasting, right? And I said, now that'll be different than just audio podcasting. So my first iteration of my show was a web TV show, video podcasting with audio as part of it. So that meant I was going across all of the audio directories and platforms. I was also on YouTube. I was live on Facebook. I was live on LinkedIn because LinkedIn had come into the video casting world a little, albeit late, but they knew what they were doing because they wanted to capture that whole video marketplace.
Hmm.
And so it just made sense for me that I did video podcasting, audio podcasting. And early this year, I actually expanded it. And now I'm on the Diamond Factor Network, which is a streaming service where my show is now broadcast to Roku, Amazon, Fire TV, and Apple TV, in addition to the social media platforms. You just can't go wrong with video and audio. If you want to do just audio, go for it. But if you want to do both, I think that you get so much more traction and make a much bigger impact.
And it's interesting that you say that because a lot of people write in this moment. I went to Podfest earlier this year in
I
January,
saw
and
that. Yeah.
yeah, and there were so many people that were talking about, well, yeah, I'm doing audio, but I think I'm gonna have to do video, and I'm thinking, yeah, like you should have been did video,
Right, right.
you
And
should
it's
have
so
been done it.
easy to add video to what you're doing. If you're doing audio, you've got most of the same equipment that you'll use for video as well. So why not?
Yeah, exactly. And look, we got James Hickson now saying exactly that. You just can't go wrong with video. It's true.
That's right,
It's
James.
true.
That's right.
Love it, love
Yeah.
it. Erica Bates, what's up? Hey, hey, hey. Look,
I'm so
okay.
silly. I'm waving at everybody. I'm like, hey, y'all.
It's all good. They look, everybody in this community, we are all family, so we wave at each other.
Yeah, yeah. I
They're
just
like
am in
waving
the habit of
back.
waving at people, because they can see you. That's the beauty of video. The other thing I want to say about video versus audio, about when was it? 2006. So we're talking 18 years ago. I got my certification in neurolinguistic programming. And what most people don't know is NLP is like a language of the mind, right? So
Yep,
you reach people and touch people through the five senses. So sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell,
that's
right?
right.
So the more opportunity you have to connect with people based on your mannerisms, me waving, or how I say things, that's sound, the more
Hmm.
opportunities you use to leverage your five senses, the more you're going to make a greater impact with people, and they get to know, like, and trust you because they're experiencing you through the five senses. I don't know that they can smell you, but you know what I mean,
I hope they don't.
or taste you, but you know what I mean. They get a sense
Everything
of
else
who
is
you
becoming
are.
real. So smell-o-vision might
Exactly.
be a thing at some point. I don't know.
Exactly. You never know.
I don't
You
know.
never know. Yeah.
So what is different from 2016ish to now for you when it comes to the whole video and audio? What's different? What's changed about your workflows and how you do things in that space?
The biggest thing I'll say that's changed for me is I do a lot more video, and I'm very intentional about doing a lot more video than ever before. I still write emails, not a lot of them, I'm in a place in my business where I still market and I still talk to people, but I'm not in that frenzy that you're in when you're really trying to get seen, known, and heard, right? So for me, I'm very intentional about video. So I do a lot more for on my YouTube channels. I do a lot more, via the social media lives. I do a lot more of just posting videos than ever before. Looking at short form, I do that as well. So when you
Mhm.
think about where you are in your video work, I think that you need to kick it up a notch if you're not doing a lot of it. You need to do lots more of it because that's how people are consuming information. I had a bet with a girlfriend of mine, just to give you an example of what I'm talking about. And the bet was there was this guy that I was dating. And she said he was going to reach out to me. And I said, no, he's not. And so the bet was for 90 days. And if I lost, which I did, and he did not reach out to talk to me, if he did reach out to talk to me, then she won. And the bet was I have to, and I still haven't fulfilled my part of the bet yet, but I had to actually create a reel with 5 different outfit looks when I go out dancing. Yeah, I had to do 5 reels and still have to do those 5 reels because I haven't done them yet. Because she was telling me, she was telling me, you wear a lot of cute clothes when you go dancing, but we don't really see them. And I said, okay, so that's why she made that her win for the bet. Reels are so popular. Like I can sit for hours and go down this rabbit hole just watching reels. It's that way with all social media, but video reels, the used to be IG lives, you can do those too. There's so much you can do with video that promotes your visibility. And let me say this last thing about posting and sharing video and what it looks like for me and for what you want it to look like for you is when you think about what you share, how you share it, just make sure you're sharing it on platforms where you're more likely to be seen by your most ideal clients. Don't just post randomly anywhere,
Yeah.
right? When you know your most ideal client, and this is one of those things you and I have talked about before, and we have sort of commiserated with clients who think that they need to be posting everywhere, and that's what's
Yeah.
going to make the difference. When you are looking at these social media platforms, you got to make sure 2 things. You got to make sure that you know your ideal client well,
Yeah.
and you know that they're going to be on that specific platform to see you, to connect with you. And connection is really, really important for you in what you're doing. Don't just think push content. Think of how you're going to say something that's going to connect to the ideal client on that particular platform. I tell the story all the time. I never joined Snapchat because the audience for Snapchat is too young for me. That's not my ideal client. So why would I go join that just to join it? Right.
Hmm.
So do your research. All these platforms will tell you their demographics. So make sure you go and look at the demographics of the platform before you decide strategically what you're going to be sharing in the way of content that connects to your ideal clients on that platform. That's the first thing. The second thing I want to say is you don't have to post 15 times a day. I saw a big name marketer say that you needed to post 5 times a day if you really wanted to attract people. And I disagree with that. Yeah, you might get more people, more people may see you that way. But I think that if you're going to spend the time investing in posting that much time on one single website or one single platform, it's a better use of your time to actually run some very targeted strategic ads on the platform where you're most likely to be seen, and you can connect with your ideal client more intentionally and more strategically that way. So for me, what's changed from 2016 to now is I share a lot more video, I share a lot more content, but I'm very intentional, very strategic about where I share it, how I share it, who I share it with. And you got to move people from those social media platforms to your email list. That's where you're going to get more traction and you're able to really connect with them and be in a place with those people who are on your list where they feel like the OG, the newbie coming to see you, and they want more of you.
Yeah. Okay, you just dropped so many different things there
Sorry.
already.
You
No,
just
don't be
opened my
sorry.
mouth and I just start talking.
Look, okay, so the reason why I said that is because hope that people are actually taking notes, because the thing that stood out to me, there were several things. One, I just taught a webinar on Monday this week about discovering what we call your MV3, your most valuable video viewer, which is
Yep.
exactly what you're talking about. I think that sometimes people will just go with what they hear is trend. Hey, they said I need to go do this, so let me jump on that wagon. Which,
Yeah.
as you started, it's part of my story too, that we both saw back around 2015, 2016 ish, the idea that Facebook and other platforms were saying you need to be on video. And we
Hmm.
answered that call. But the difference between just answering that call and doing content for the sake of content is
Hmm.
that we have been thoughtful and intentional and on purpose about what we're putting out there. It doesn't mean it's always going to go viral, y'all, but what it
Right.
does mean is that you're more likely to drive revenue. And that's really what we're talking about tonight, because Wendy Y is like the pro when it comes to income acceleration, like for real, for real. And that's why
Hmm.
I wanted us to talk about this tonight, because I knew you would have some nuggets, and you already dropped a few on them that really, hopefully, everybody's taking notes about.
I hope so. I hope so because as coaches, I read a report recently, like a little excerpt from a report that said most coaches are making less than $30,000-$40,000 a year.
Yeah.
And that's sad to me to see that statistic in that way. I think it's because, and I'm going to sound preachy for just a minute, I think it's because most coaches are out there thinking, I built this wonderful platform. You see a lot of people telling you to create courses or
Yeah.
to create programs. They talk to you about funnels and all of that kind of stuff. I want you to know that what you're doing in terms of setting yourself up for profitability has more to do with what you say about what you offer and you making more offers to people than it does about having a course, having a particular kind of funnel, all of that kind of stuff. All of that's important. Don't misunderstand. I just want you to understand that if you're thinking, I'll build it and they'll come, it's not enough. We work in a marketplace that is filled with lots of different kinds of coaches, some that are not really coaches that call themselves coaches. That's another story that I'll get on at some other time. But we could talk about that a lot. But it really is about you making sure that you are making contact. You're reaching out, you are making contact with your ideal clients in a way that says, I have something to offer you, and I know you can't get it anywhere else, and I'm ready to serve you with what I offer you. And pricing. Oh my gosh, pricing. I worked with a client. You're laughing because you know what I'm saying. I worked with a
Mm-hmm.
client a couple of years ago, and she was actually charging people $7 for a piece of content she had developed. Now, if you're doing that as a tripwire, don't ask me what it is. If you don't know, go look it up. If you're using it as a tripwire, it might make sense for you to set your price at $7 or 17 or 27, whatever. But if it's a program that has high value, and as coaches, our programs do have high value, then they should also be, that value should be reflected in what you charge for that offer. Okay. My coach says aggressively charge for what you offer, aggressively charge. And I believe that wholeheartedly. Before that, I thought I was doing pretty good in terms of setting my fees and everything. I started working with my coach about 3 years ago. And when she said aggressively, I was like, let me see what that means. And I, bumped it up a little bit. And she was like, no, aggressively. And I was like, okay. So I bumped it up a lot. And she's like, yeah, that's more what I'm talking about. So that's why coaches are out there under earning because they're not charging for what they actually offer in the way of that high value item, whether it's a program, whether it's a service that they're doing, they're undercharging. And the way to be sure that you know where you should be charging is to think about the value of what you're offering. I
Yeah.
did a show that is actually going to go live tomorrow about looking at value. If you don't know the value of what you're offering, then you can't sell it. If you don't know the value of the program, if you can't articulate what that value looks like, then
Mhm.
you're not going to be able to sell it. So if you're here and you're listening and you're watching the replay and you're saying, wow, she's speaking to me, how, Wendy, why do I start to assess the value of what I offer? There are a couple of things. You need to know what the person gets after being in your program, after they've used your content. You need to know what is the benefit to them? What do they gain on the other side of that? If you don't know that, ask them so that they can give you the language to use in your marketing messaging. Okay. You also want to know the dollar value of what you're offering. Well, how do you do that, Wendy? Why? You look at it, look at what it costs you to create it, and then you look at what some clients are earning or receiving as some sort of numerical benefit, some sort of financial benefit. Then you can articulate that in your marketing messaging as well. There's a whole lot more, but that'll get you started in a really great way so that you can assess the value, you can articulate the value, and then you can sell it in a way that makes you feel, accomplished because you're making money from what you're doing in the way
Yeah.
of your program, in the way of your service. That's how you get at it.
And let's put a disclaimer out there for somebody who might be thinking, okay, because you touched on this, but I know we're not going to go down this rabbit trail. Um, there are a lot of people that have put, because of AI and other tools that have been made available and accessible to all of us, who have adopted labels to say that they are experts in certain areas. That does not equal transformation for the client. And so when WendyY is talking about outcome, when she's talking about that, what is going to be the value of what you're offering and delivering, you need to be able to deliver what you said you're going to deliver. So
Yes,
Chat
Lord.
GPT and all that stuff, it can only take you so far. It can take you far enough for you to be able to put the copy down. You may even get a couple of bullet points that you can say when you're in the call. But when that person is sitting on the other side of that call, waiting for you to help them really transform and to be healed in a way that otherwise they would not have been had they not met with you, and you
Mm-hmm.
can't deliver, that's problematic. So you have to be able to deliver value. I think you really need to listen to what she's saying when she says value.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that because I'm telling you, as coaches, as service providers, we're in the business of transformation. And we need to know what that looks like as well. People don't come to you as a coach, as a service provider because they just like you. Yeah, they know, like, they trust you. That's part of it. They come to you because they're seeking a specific transformation as a result of working with you, either in your program or in the service that you offer them. They're looking for a specific type of transformation. You need to know what that transformation is, and like Tanya said, AI is going to only take you so far. You need to be on the other side of it saying, oh, because of my program, my clients make more money. Because of my program, my clients are freed and delivered from their trauma. Because of my program, my clients are feeling better in their relationships. Their relationship survived a problem that they had. Because
Mm-hmm.
of my program, my clients receive this kind of transformation. And then you can assess and assign value and set fees in a way that makes a difference, not just for them, but for you as well.
Yeah. And the other thing is, as far as the pricing piece, I think one
Mm.
of the things that I learned early on, it took me a while because I'm in the remedial class.
You're a little hard headed. I know.
I'm
Me
kind of
too.
hard headed.
Mhm.
And I definitely
Mhm.
want to pull up some comments because I see a few folks in there. It took me a minute to realize that the more confident you are, like you have to be assured. You
Mhm.
can't, if you're going to charge somebody what you're worth and you're going to charge somebody because of the transformation that you know you can provide, you got to be confident when you say that. You can't be like, well, I think maybe thir-
Yeah, yeah,
$3,600. Like, because
yeah.
then you're like questioning.
Right,
So
right.
I have
And I think we
learned,
all start that
yeah,
way a little bit. I think we
we
all
do.
go through that.
Because there's discomfort there sometimes. So I want people to feel a sense of forgiveness for yourself if you're in that state. But at some point, you got to be as confident as, because you know what you can deliver. You know that
Right.
this is going to work for them. And sometimes you have to believe way far beyond what they even believe, at least initially,
Hmm.
to get the ball rolling. Like, you got to be
Yeah.
confident that you're going to be able to help that person. If I ever run into a spot, WendyY, where I think I can't help a person, and this is what I tell people even on my discovery call page, if I don't think I can help you, I'm going to tell you that. Like, I
Yeah.
won't take you on as a client if I know I can't help you, given the
Yeah.
conversation we have.
Yeah. I think that, unfortunately, sometimes we get in our own heads about it. And that's why my personal mantra is mindset is everything. So if you want to raise your fees, if you want to stand in confidence and clarity about what you can do to transform a client, then work on your mindset. Work on your mindset. That
Yeah.
means do your meditation. That means write affirmations. That means journal. That means, talk to, I call my success team, the people around me, my success team, because they help me to succeed. Talk to your therapist, talk to your coach, work
Mm-hmm.
on some guided visualization, do whatever you need to do to elevate your mindset so that you can say with confidence $3,600 if that's the fee for your program, right?
Or
Or let me
$10,000,
put you.
or
I was getting ready to say, and let me really scare you, or $30,000 for a program. If you're not ready to say that with confidence, work on your mindset. If you're not ready to say $3,600, I'm gonna pray for you, and I still want you to work on your mindset. But I'm telling you, as coaches, we have the ability to change the world, and
yeah.
with that kind of responsibility and accountability, we can't undervalue the work that we do. We just can't.
I'm gonna pop up this comment because I love it. First of all, Dr. Pam Perry in the house. She said,
Hey,
"Hey,
Pam
ladies, great stuff."
Perry.
There she is. You know, we need to. I need to have just like a panel with at least both of you, maybe one more. That she said that'll be 50K. Where do I
That's
send the
right.
invoice?
That's right. You said it. You said
Look,
it.
these ladies have been in my life for a long time. So when they put numbers out here like this, it's real talk. This is not play talk. Check your inbox. Ibrahim, I'm not sure who in the chat you're talking to. Get off that boat and stop following the trends. Okay, so Scott,
Hmm. Hmm. That's right.
Scott is bringing up a trend. Hold on, because some people don't feel comfortable with video. Yep, that's why some people don't do it.
Hmm.
David Hunt, yep, is agreeing. Let me speak to what Scott's saying. The whole trend thing,
Hmm.
because we mentioned trends. There was a trend on TikTok. My only goal, honestly, was just to meet the criteria in order to be able to go live over there, WendyY. And so I went over there and I researched and I studied and I tried to figure out, like, what could I do that would help me to get to the number that I want so that I can access the live stream capabilities. And the dumbest thing, but it actually confirmed exactly what you just said. It wasn't my high value content. It wasn't anything intelligent that I was saying that was different or unique. It
Hmm.
was doing the boat trend. It
Was
was
that some
it
TikTok?
was a
You got to
TikTok
do a dance or
thing.
something.
You don't I didn't do no dances, no. But you get on no, cuz I was not doing that. Get on a pretend boat. There was like this video clip, and so you just put your image on there and you're on the boat. And I don't even know where the boat was going. I don't know why a boat. It was a boat trend. And so everybody was
Okay.
following people who had the boat trend. And I thought,
Okay.
this is the dumbest thing ever. I'm just going to do it and see. Literally within hours, within 24 hours, I met the limit, the criteria that I needed to do live stream.
Wow.
And what that told me is so many things. But one of the main things I got from that is, yeah, I don't really care necessarily about being viral. I do care about delivering value. I care about making an impact in a positive way that's going to actually change somebody's life. I
Hmm.
don't care about singing and dancing. That's just not my thing. Now, for those who can
Yeah,
do that and want to do that, I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying that was
me
not.
either. Yeah. TikTok is one of those platforms that I've never gotten on. I don't even have it on my phone. It's just not something that I've done. And your heart will go on a TikTok though. I love it, John Lacey. I love it. You know, the whole thing about these platforms, again, they will tell you their demographics.
Yeah.
And if you look at TikTok, I haven't, so disclaimer to that. But if you look at TikTok, my ideal clients are not hanging out over on TikTok. My ideal clients are on LinkedIn, right? My ideal clients are looking on YouTube for stuff, for how-to stuff. Because most people think that if they can learn how to do something, the place they're going to learn it from is YouTube.
Yeah.
So don't snooze on having your own YouTube channel, but just remember you've got to move people from that platform to your email list, which is your homegrown place to nurture the relationship and get them to know, like, and trust you, and vice versa, so that they know they can come and do business with you.
Now, Dr.
You
Pam
love to
Perry, I've
dance and
seen her
step.
dance and step, and she does some awesome stuff on that.
Okay, go for it. Go
Exactly.
for
So
it.
if that's for you, by all means, let's see. Yes, A. McDermott, what's up? Nice to see you. This is the thing that makes it so hard for people who want to deliver to a lot of people. We have to play along. And I don't know if I can put that word up here, but we
Yeah.
have to play along. Yeah, we do want to give value. That's what we want to do. And yet that doesn't get seen. I had someone the other day put, it was really a kind note, but I also was a little sad to see it. They put on one of my YouTube videos. He said something to the effect that you have so much great value. It's awesome quality video content. YouTube, you need to do better. Like, show more of her stuff, is basically
Mm-hmm.
what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about that and I was like, yeah, isn't it sad? But it's reality TV shows, it's it's craziness, it's
Yeah.
drama. That's what draws eyes. And you have to make a decision about what makes sense for you individually. And for me, that wasn't the path. Can we talk a little bit more about the whole profitability thing? What do you think gets in the way of people making that decision to put work out into the world that will not only drive views, because we do want that, but also help them to be more profitable? What is blocking people from earning money right now?
Well, I think there are a couple of things. The first thing I'll say is what I said a few minutes ago: mindset is everything. They don't believe if they put it out there, it's going to yield the kind of fruit that they really desire. And that's a mindset shift. You've got to do it anyway. I was having a conversation with my 34-year-old son, and I was telling him about an opportunity that might work for him to get involved in, like a reseller kind of business. And he said to me, "Will you go ahead and do it, Mom, and you let me know how it works out?" And I just kind of chuckled and I was like, well, why do you want me to do it when I'm really suggesting it to you?
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'm kind of a wait and see kind of guy. But the reality is, he's very much a naysayer because he doesn't believe in whatever it is. And I think there are a lot of people out there who are like, well, if I do that, it's not going to work. So I just won't do it. Well, if
Yeah.
you don't do it, surely it's not going to work. But you don't know if something is going to work until you actually try it. So try it with video and get on camera, get comfortable being on camera. I did a whole video challenge. I think it was 7 days. And I talked about, how you can record a series of videos and then schedule them to go live. I talked about there are a lot of ways to do video so that you don't have to be freaked out about the
Yeah.
camera. You can turn your phone on. You don't have to have, any fancy equipment. You don't have to do any of that. You've just got to get started doing video. So
Yeah.
try video. If you're not doing video, my recommendation is that you try. The other thing I think, other than I'm not convinced is something that's going to work problem that people have. I think when they think about video, they have to look like somebody they've seen. And the
Yeah.
reality is, you just need to be yourself. You don't need to be anybody. A girlfriend of mine says, her name is Barbara, and she's like, I do Barbara really well. I'm not trying to do Tanya. I'm not trying to do Wendy Y. I do Barbara really well. So do
Yeah.
yourself really well. Just do video, right? Just do video, because you're going to get left in the dust if you are letting the fear of being on video stop you from actually showing yourself and showing what kind of transformation you can lead people to. So those are a couple of things that I think that stop people.
I think it's interesting. I'm definitely going to pull up some more some comments here in a second, but I think what you just said again, all of these things are hitting home, y'all. So I don't know if you're paying attention and writing these notes like I told you to do, but I'm loving it because Wendy Y, I knew you would just bring the wisdom. And I remember when I first started, I was trying to be like other people. I was looking at other people's videos and I was like, okay, so this person over here said that I should be this, you know. So I am
Yeah.
naturally just not an extrovert. You know this because you've known me for a long
Hmm.
time.
Hmm.
I am not an extrovert. I've had a manager, a boss way back in the day in corporate America tell me, you just not, you know, I heard you get the results, but you're just not jumping off the walls enough for me. So, given that type
Yeah.
of feedback, I thought I needed to jump off the walls. And so I came out like, hey, you know, I'm going to have this persona. And eventually it just wasn't
Yeah.
working. It was a
Yeah.
drain. I did not feel like getting on camera doing that. And
And
when
you
I
probably
started,
didn't look genuine.
I didn't look, no, I wasn't making connection with people.
Hmm.
And I wasn't making any type of impression whatsoever with that fake persona. It wasn't until I came out as myself with my t-shirts that I like to wear and my
Yes.
baseball cap every now and then, and you
Yes.
know, just me being me, that things started to work the way they needed to and they clicked. So for those of you who are out there being told that there's this box that you have to fit in, remember what Wendy Y said.
Be
Mm.
yourself, because you do you very well beyond what other people do. You.
Truth,
You know.
word. Look, and what Strick said, what's up, Strick? Happy birthday, by the way, sir. Once you start dancing, you have to
Uh-huh.
keep dancing. Right?
What a scary thought. Yeah.
I was on the boat and I was like, I am not ever getting back on a boat again like this. This is not happening. You need to find your people, and that is not the entire
That's
internet.
right. It's not everybody with some skin on them. I remember years ago somebody said, "Oh, well, my ideal client is everyone that's got some skin on them." No,
Mm-mm,
that's not your ideal client.
mm-mm. What's up, the
Hey,
educated natural?
educated natural.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Well, here's what Dr. Pam Perry said. She said that this is the bottom line. This is the reason why certain things do go viral and why certain types of content gets more attention than others. She said, I
Hmm.
love streaming. I try.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Tanya
try.
is definitely a boss at it. But you know, Dr. Pam Perry is a boss in her own right at
She
streaming.
is.
You have embraced it in such a way that you model it for the people who come to you in the marketplace. So kudos to both you ladies, for sure. For sure.
Well, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. And same to you. As an introvert, people who jump off the walls need to take it down. I agree, John.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much. Yeah. Now
I agree.
there's a favorite I have, and I understand she came from TikTok. I told you I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know. But Tabitha Brown is
Mm,
a very well known vegan, and she would just go live using her phone streaming vegan recipes. She came out of being almost deathly ill to becoming a vegan, and it has just blown her up like crazy. But let
mm-hmm.
me say this, that's the exception, not the rule. That's the exception, not the rule. She also shares, tidbits of wisdom and experiences that she's had. And she's got a ton of products at Target now. She's got a hair care
Mm-hmm.
line. She's got, all kinds of stuff
Yeah.
going on. She's got a clothing line at Target too. And I'm trying to think. She's got her own TV show. She's an Emmy Award winner. There's a lot that's
Mm-hmm.
come from her just going live and talking. So don't knock it if you haven't tried it. I'm not talking about TikTok. I'm talking about the platform where you know your most ideal client is. Okay. It doesn't have to be TikTok. You don't have to do it in a way that Tabitha Brown did. You don't have to do it the way Tanya or Wendy Y have been doing it. You've got to do it in a way that represents who you are authentically.
Exactly.
But
And
it
it's not,
works.
when we talk about profitability, another thing to kind of be careful about is that you don't over invest in things, in gear, tools, apps, all the things. I know I come and do a lot of reviews about different apps and platforms. I know. But the point is, be
You're an app
careful.
girl.
I am. I'm a
Yeah.
straight up geek, and it's
Yeah.
just my thing. It's one of my fun things. But I also talk about budgeting and making sure that you're leveraging the resources and tools you already have. So when you're doing video, so that's a question for you. If somebody were just starting out right now, Wendy Y, what would be some advice you would give them to start out with either video or audio podcasting for that matter right now? What's a couple of tips that you can share with a newbie just starting out?
The first thing I'll say is keep it simple. Okay. Keep it simple. I have literally, um, I think my camera was $150. Okay. And it's the same camera I started out with when I started video podcasting in 2020. Okay. Um, Keep it simple with the mic. I don't have a Yeti mic. I have a fine F like Frank INE mic, and it does the job. It's sitting right here. I don't have to have it like up up close and personal. Okay, and yeah, y'all are gonna chuckle when I show you this. I have my fan too because it does get hot under the lights. I have like $150, box lights. Keep it simple initially, right? You don't have to have a, top of the line everything to get started doing it. And again,
Mm-hmm.
this is for video, but it's also for audio. Same thing with the mic for audio. I've seen people that have their headphones and they have all this, other equipment. You don't have to do that to start. Okay. And learn from your experience as you go along
Mm-hmm.
and know what you need to do to reach and connect with your most ideal client in a way that's genuine for you. You don't have to be like anybody else. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing. Just do it. Okay, so start simple is the first thing. The second thing is to really focus on what it is the your ideal client wants to learn in the way of transformation. What is it they're seeking? And start to answer some of those questions for them. Start to give them some high value content that lets them know from your well of expertise you can do more for them than just go live and share whatever it is. When you know your ideal client, and this is one of those soapbox issues for me, and I think you know that about me too, Tanya. If you're not trying to speak to your ideal client, you're trying to appeal to the masses and you've cast too broad a net. In the Bible, it talks about casting your pearls before swine. It means that if you are trying to cast your net to reach everybody, then you're going to dilute your message. You really want to focus on reaching your ideal client specifically. Go live from that place of authenticity. So the first is keep it simple. The second is be authentic in how you do it. And the third is to make sure you listen to what your ideal clients are saying to you. What are the comments being left on the videos? What are the questions that are coming from your videos? And if you don't have any, start asking for them because people love to give you feedback. We live in a society where people always want to tell you what you're doing right and wrong all the time. Okay. So if you're not getting any feedback, then you need to start asking for it and they'll give it to you. And listen to what people are telling you. I'm not saying the people who are being ugly and saying not nice things. I'm not saying that them. I'm saying listen to constructive feedback when people are asking questions because it will lead you to your next piece of high value content. When they ask a question, when they tell you what they learned from whatever it is you said, then that's your next piece of content, next piece of high value content that you can share on video.
What do you say to people who say, well, I don't want to give away all of my secrets on video?
I say that there's always more to give. There always more to give. There is always more to give. I know I'm repeating it because I want you to hear that. And if you don't feel like there's always more to give, then you're missing the opportunity to truly serve and transform. There's always more to give.
And this
Always.
is not just for the folks, because I know a lot of the folks that are in the chat. It's not just for you if you're a coach only. It's also for you no matter what type of service you're providing.
Hmm.
No matter, you're never going to be able to give it, because somebody said to me one time, the reason I asked you that, they were like, gosh, you give away so much content on your videos, your YouTube channel is just chock full of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but I got plenty more.
Hmm.
I got plenty
Hmm.
more. It's up in
Hmm.
it's here.
And
Plenty
we're
more.
always learning, Tanya.
Always.
Just because we share one thing doesn't mean we haven't learned, 15, 20 steps beyond that.
Yeah.
We're always learning. Be a lifelong learner, and then you don't have to worry about giving away too much content. There's no such thing.
Nope. There
There's no
is
such
not.
thing.
David said Tabitha Brown is a whole ecosystem.
She
It's true.
really is, David. She really, really is. Like that, her meteoric rise has been amazing. Yes, she does have a restaurant too. She's doing a lot, doing a
Wow.
lot. And again, she is the exception, not the rule. So if you're looking at her saying, "Oh, well, I'll just do all these videos on TikTok and then I'll blow up like she does," ain't
Yeah.
time to worry.
Yeah. It may take time. And it may take time to figure out who your people are too. So
That's
give
right.
yourself a little bit of grace to just kind of pay attention as you start doing your lives and doing your putting your content out into the world. Who is showing up? What are you really feeling joyful about as you talk to different people? What kind of content makes you really light up? Cuz you might even change that. It could be that your
Yeah.
topic changes and the content changes. Let's see. Catherine, thank you for taking the time to share these great insight and tips and encouragement to just start with what you have. Yes, please. Please,
Hmm.
please, please. Okay,
You can
Dan
start.
is asking this question of you.
I don't know who Lionel Bailey is.
So
I'm
Lionel
gonna
is on
say
LinkedIn too,
okay. I'll look
but
him up, but I don't know Lionel. So if you want to make the introduction, Dan, please do. He might be a cousin. I got Bailey cousins everywhere.
oh,
Yeah,
Tabitha wanted to be an actor. That's why she went to video.
yeah,
Ah,
I knew that. Yeah, I knew that. She, again, is the exception, not the rule. She is the exception. Now, something that not Dan, but John said that I don't want to go too far from. Do you see his comment,
let me
the
go back.
last comment you shared for him? Do you mind going back to it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That John said.
John. Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
information is.
that was it. What people need is support and accountability and expertise. You can find a lot of stuff on YouTube, to your point, John. Absolutely. But people want support, accountability, and expertise. They're looking for your expertise, not somebody else's. They're looking for accountability for what they want in the way of transformation. And they can't get that from just anybody and everywhere. Yep.
I love that he said that. I'm gonna pop up something because I think this is a golden nugget right here. Thinking that you give away too much comes from a scarcity mentality.
Yes, it does. Yes, it
Hmm.
does. You got to work on your mindset. If you're thinking away, you're thinking you're giving away too much. That's a
It's like,
scarcity mentality.
yeah,
Thank
because
you.
you're thinking there's nothing, you don't have enough. And anytime you
Mm-mm,
start thinking like that, I don't have enough, I'm not enough, I can't do enough. If you start thinking
mm-mm.
that, if you ever hear the word enough in your thoughts, there's probably something going on that you need to examine and reframe.
Mindset.
Hmm.
Mindset.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned that there's a program that you have that's coming out. Is it on YouTube, Wendy Y, this weekend?
Yes, it's
Okay.
on. Let me see the best way to tell you how to get there. I have a YouTube channel called Profitable Coaching Conversations. It's specific to the show. And there are a lot of live videos that I do. I do a live video every week, I do a guest episode every week. And the cool thing about the way the show is structured is it's designed to give you
Hi,
some
and
real
welcome to my YouTube
insights.
channel. If you're a coach,
Yes.
Sorry, I ended up pulling up.
Autoplay. Autoplay. Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
it's
pull
a
your.
great way. Go ahead. I'm sorry. What?
I'll pull it up. Businessbeyondlimits.com. That's where your website is. Can they go to your YouTube from up here?
I think so. Girl, it's been a
Yeah.
long time since I looked at that. I have two YouTube channels. Isn't that terrible? I have two YouTube channels. One is WendyY Bailey, and the other is Profitable Coaching Conversations. And the show that I mentioned, that's the web TV and audio podcast for my show, is Profitable Coaching Conversations. That's the YouTube channel, is Profitable Coaching Conversations. You can go there and see, I want to say it's up to now, it's about 160, almost 170 episodes that are out there that you can learn a lot about business, marketing, and sales because that's the focus of the show. And it's specifically for coaches. So if you're interested in learning more, go to YouTube, Profitable Coaching Conversations, and you'll see a lot there.
And what I want people to understand is something that is very clear. This is for me, it goes for me, and it goes for Wendy Y. I think I've said this numerous times lately because I need people to understand profitability does not equal number of likes or follows. People
At
can like your
all.
stuff all day long and it's not paying any bills.
That's right. The funny thing to me is just because, and I think it was either John or Dan said something about virility not being what creates profitability. You know, when you are getting likes and everything, I don't know about you. I used to get really excited. Oh, I had so many people
I did
like it.
too.
Oh, I got so many followers. But then when I posted an offer, I get crickets.
Yep. Because you had the
So
wrong
don't
people.
look, yeah, the wrong people. People will like your stuff all day long. And even on LinkedIn, even though I told you LinkedIn is where my ideal clients are, and I believe that's true. Even on LinkedIn, people will like your stuff, but they'll never spend a dime with you. I have gotten clients from LinkedIn, but
Yeah.
it's been a very intentional offer that I made that got the clients. And if you've been watching and kind of wondering about this whole how do you profit, make sure you're making an offer that reveals the transformation your viewer is seeking, and then they'll easily convert.
Yeah.
They'll easily convert. So hopefully that
Yeah.
gives you
With
a little
this,
bit of a nugget there.
I gave an example the other day, and this is a real live example that happened just in my Facebook feed just a few days ago. I had gone out and I did this really quick video, and I was reviewing an app. And the app, I was sharing it because it's a tool that I've used for probably like a good year and a half, and I use it on the daily. Like it's a scheduling
Hmm.
tool. And I know several people in my community, in my audience, that had asked about this app, and I said, hey, it's gone back on a lifetime deal. So if you want to snatch it up,
Saw
here's the
that.
pros, here's the con.
Hmm.
Okay. And so I did that. Wasn't very many likes, but within a few hours, I made a couple $100 in commissions. And when I say a couple $100, it might not sound like much, but the thing is, if you're only making $6 to $10 in commission off of a sale like that, and that's adding up, that
Hmm.
means that two things were happening. One is, even though people weren't liking the post, they were running and going to they were clicking and going to go get this lifetime deal using my link. Secondly,
Right.
several people reached out in the DMs and also commented on the post, even though they didn't like it, and said, oh my God, this was just in time. I've been looking for an app like this. And so it made an impact. I was able to serve in that way. Those are
Yeah.
the things you have to think about. How are you serving and generating revenue? So
Hmm.
that was passive income for me for to do this like 10-minute, 15-minute video just to share something I already knew was
For a
good.
couple $100. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw something recently, and it's something I shared with my son who doesn't listen to me. And what what I shared with
Kids.
him is where, yeah, they have their own way of thinking, their own stuff that they're going to do, and no matter what you say, I just continue to plant the seeds. But
Mm-hmm.
the article was about this guy who just from passive income alone had generated I want to say a couple $1 million because he was just so intentional about what he was reselling, resharing, what
Yep.
how he was doing it. So understand that all income is not active, that you got to do something and be part of something in order for it to happen. So
Yeah.
consider your opportunities for passive income as well.
I think every
Look,
day
get
I
the
have
active
some.
going really, really good. Get the
Yeah.
active going really, really well. Then you can focus on the passive.
I have the passive down, and I also have. I think I'm doing pretty good with the active too.
Yeah, yeah.
But I do love to just be out and do live streams and connect with people and serve in a way that may not look to some like, oh, she's not making an impact. Actually, I am. And it's
Hmm.
joy because I still
Hmm.
also have reserved time to be able to spend with my family, to take care of things at home, take care of my husband who's overseas all the time. There are
Hmm.
things you just never know what a person's going through, right? So just being able to intentionally and purposefully create the content that you create in such a way where you're not going to be burnt out, but it's also hitting and making that bottom line look bigger. That is the key.
Let me say this too, and this is a testament to you. I know for at least 2 to 3 years, you were consistently going live. Was it 5 days a week?
It was at least 3 days.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
consistently for like 2 to 3 years, you were doing that. So if you learn anything from Tanya, it's that consistency is what really makes a difference for your potential clients. When they see you, they get to know you, like trust you, they get to experience you, they get to trust that what you're sharing is something that they can benefit from. That's really one of the secret sauces to
That's important.
profitability is consistency.
Yeah. That's
So
important to
that's a
me.
testament to you. You did that for so long. I was like, wow. I'm gonna be honest. I was like, I don't know if I could do that, but Tanya's doing the thing. She really is. And you just broke what? What did?
I'm
Okay,
about to
thank
break
you.
2,000. I'm about to break 2,000
Yeah,
on my YouTube channel now. I'm real close. I'm
I
real close.
love it. I
I'm
love
very
it. Yeah,
excited.
that
D-
consistency makes a difference.
Dave said, "What's the app? I might need it." I don't know if it's still on Lifetime, David, but it's Traft. So if you are on my YouTube channel. If you're on my YouTube channel, look just within the past week. I know I'm not on Facebook like that, so he didn't see the post. I know. Look on my YouTube channel, Traft, TRAFFT, and there should be a link that'll send you directly to AppSumo. See if it's still live. It might be. I find that a lot of people don't bother to hit the like. I know. And I forget, Scott, sometimes to say it, which is why I appreciate that David did this.
Hmm.
Click it,
Hmm.
make
Help
it
the
solid.
algorithm. Thank you,
I love
David.
it. I love it. Thank you, David. So, Wendy, why I would love to spend all night just talking to you because I could do that with you. But
Yes.
I know it's time for us to get ready to wrap it. So, is there anything that you think you want to leave folks with? And then I will pop up your website one more time because I want to make sure that people can connect with you.
Okay. Sounds good. The thing that is always running through my mind when it comes to serving my clients is that formula I gave in the very beginning. Productivity plus profitability equals sustainability. Now, let me take each one of those. Productivity is about focusing on your ideal client on the right platforms in the right way. And that also means um, you are sharing high value content with them, right? And making offers so that they will buy from you or they will enroll in your programs. They will convert to working with you. Okay. That's the productivity, the right things, the right platforms, the right clients, the right offers. Profitability is about making sure that you are always focused on the bottom line. What's it going to do? How's it going to hit your bottom line? And based on how it hits your bottom line, then you'll know if it is something you need to continue doing or you need to cut your losses and move away from it. Profitability is also about consistency, something I mentioned a minute ago. Tanya is a wonderful example of consistency. She found something she loves. She continued to do it over like a long period of time, like 2 to 3 years or longer. at least 3 days a week. And now look at the fruits that her brand is bearing for her from all of that consistency. So think consistency, think pricing, think incrementally increasing your fees, and think mindset is everything if you really want to create the sustainability that you want in your business. Now, sustainability is just still being here. You know, I told you guys in the beginning, I'm here almost 22 years later, excuse me, when I started full time. And my business looks different than it did when I first started. So be open to evolution, be open to revolution in your business. I have rebranded and relaunched my business. I've done a lot of things over the 22 years that got me to where I am today. So be open to evolution and revolution to create the sustainability that you want in your business. So thank you, Tanya, so much for having me here tonight. And I hope that's been real helpful to your guests, to your viewers.
I'm sure. Look, if you all have learned anything tonight, I want you to definitely put something into the chat. So if there's one golden nugget that you take away, I always ask my coaching clients the same thing. One idea that you took away that you didn't have when you came onto the show, when you jumped in here, you didn't know it, or it was a light bulb moment for you, a good reminder even. Pop that into the chat. Let's see what you learned. And share a little bit of love with Wendy Y. I did see a couple of people that have already said thank you. So let me pop those up real quick. John said, thank you so much. Thank you, John, for
Thank you,
being
John.
here. Thank you for adding value in the chat. David Hunt as well. We thank you for that as well. Thank you for reminding folks to like David because I'm always so bad at that. Oh my
Like the
goodness.
video, help the algorithm.
Yes, yes, yes. Dan, thank you again for the connection request that he sent to you on LinkedIn, Wendy Y. So, Dan does
Got it.
very well over in LinkedIn building community. So, he's a good person
Nice.
to know over there. Um, thanks, Wendy Y.
Thank you, David. Thank you. Thank you. Glad you guys are here and we're able to be a part of this experience.
Yes, and if they
There's
want
my
to continue to
website.
connect, this is the website, businessbeyondlimits.com. And if you would like to connect on socials, it looks like you have all your socials at the upper right here.
Yeah, but I'm WendyY Bailey everywhere. Just
So
don't forget the second Y.
that's right. Because you know, somebody, a good friend of mine was trying to correct me and say, well, I don't want you to put any typos out there. You spelled her name wrong. I said, no, I didn't. It's
I
Wendy
remember
Y.
that. Yeah, I
I've known
remember
her
that.
for a while. It's her. That's
Thank
who it
you,
is.
Catherine. Yes.
All right. All right, lady. Well, I'm going to go ahead and move us on out. Hang on for me for a second. Oh, wait, one more comment. Let me pop this up. People are having the comments flowing in. Amazing show. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
Radiant
Rachel.
Spy, Reptilia
Virginia.
Salon, and Mini Spy, y'all. It's good to see you again. All right. Let me go ahead and take us out. Wendy Y, thank you again for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Look, there's my hey, did you like this video? That's the one time I remember is when I popped that thing up. So if you haven't clicked that like button, make sure you go ahead and do that and follow and subscribe. If you found that this information was helpful for you, we are getting ready to gear up for our live stream summer school series. I did this last year for the very first time, and it was so much fun to just share some of the basics of how to actually start live streaming. I'm thinking I'm going to do something a little bit different this summer, but we'll see. I'm definitely going to be extending an invitation to all of you to join our book club. We have a circle where we are doing an asynchronous book club. This is designed to not take up more of your time. We're not trying to do another meeting or another call. We're going to do an asynchronous book club inside of a messenger chat. It's an experiment. And our first book is next June. It's going to be June 1st. Our first book will be 1,000 True Fans. So if you want to join, DM me and let me know, and I'll make sure I get you the information. But look, it's been a pleasure serving you in tonight's video. I'm glad that you got a chance to meet my longtime dear, dear friend, Wendy Y. Bailey. Make sure you go and follow her on businessbeyondlimits.com. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe here. And we will see you on next week in the stream. I do have a couple of really amazing, even more amazing guests that are coming to the show. So next Thursday, we have a guest. We also have an attorney that's going to be coming to talk to us about some things related to AI, y'all. So I'm excited about that. Stay tuned and stay subscribed. I'll see you next time in the stream.